I mean, he's a thief, because Moraine did tell everybody not to take the knife from the little, that seat that they're in. He said, don't take anything because it's cursed. And what do? You go and teach the knife, and now you've got curses on you. Hello, unicorns. I'm Tiffany, that's Angelica, and we are here to discuss my experience reading the first book in the Wheel of Time series. Now, I have made it my goal to read the classical fantasy series that everybody loves, that is part of people's top favourites. And I think for a fantasy lover like myself, I should have already read Wheel of Time. And I made it a priority series for me to finish. With that said, let's just get into my thoughts. Now, the bulk of this video will be filled with spoilers. Will be filled with my thoughts as I progress through my journey reading the Eye of the Wolrd. If you haven't read the book yet, if you haven't read the series yet, I suggest you just jump to the end on my conclusions, my thoughts of the book. That will be my spoiler-free summary. However, if you want to know my in-depth reaction as reading this book, keep tuned, watch it throughout, and enjoy. Okay, so before I sat down and decided to document my reading experience, Wheel of Time, I have already read the prologue through to chapter 7. So that's around 12% of the book I've already read. And I am impressed. I can understand why this book is the favourite for so many fantasy readers. I'm hooked. I'm in it now. I'm in it. So let's just start off with the prologue. Now, before I even began reading The Wheel of Time, I heard spoilers. Like, I already heard tidbits. Nothing major, nothing that will give away the story for me, because for some reason, I was able to avoid all the major plot holes and the plot spoiler bits. Even though that Amazon Prime has made the adaptation for this series, I kind of shut it down. I was like, no, don't look. I'm going to read the book. Let's not spoil it for myself. With that said, I was hearing some tidbits about a dragon. This story follows somebody that is a dragon reborn, and that piqued my interest. That got me interested, because you know I love me my dragons, okay? So immediately from the prologue, when I heard about the dragon reborn and the man that has murdered all his people, that killed all these people, that released some energy and some dark matter in the world that turned into a mountain. First of all, I'm like, what? What's going on here? But then we have dragons and we have some evil energy, and I'm already invested. Now I'm thinking that this man must have used to be a dragon. Okay, so hopefully in the book we have like a kind of a transformation where he kind of erupts out of his flesh and into the magnificent creature that dragons are. I'm not sure. That is where my mind went with it. That maybe the man in the prologue who's cocooned himself into the mountain, maybe he is in fact the dragon. And just how like butterflies and caterpillars, they cocoon themselves and then erupt into a butterfly. Maybe this man has cocooned himself into a mountain, and he's gonna erupt into the dragon later on in the book. And that's why we have that spoiler alert to say about the dragon reborn, because it's a dragon being reborn out of the mountain. Am I close? I don't think I'm close. It sounds a bit ridiculous, but it sounds amazing, doesn't it? But if that is what this story's about, if that's already it from the prologue, I've already disassembled the whole series and put it together. So if this is what happens, I'm such a genius. I'm a genius, I know it. Come on now. Okay, so then with that prologue out of the way, I move on to chapter 1. Now, I don't know how much time has passed between what happened in the prologue and what is happening in chapter 1. I think it's been, I don't know, a generation or maybe 3 generations. Time has flowed, okay? But what I've come to realize with the Wheel of Time is that time in the title of the series. So time is elusive? Maybe it's just going round in a circle, so it doesn't really matter how long time has passed, because everything's going to repeat itself anyway. Sorry about that bang, I just hit my elbow on the table. Try to ignore the pain, but when you hit your fatty bone, Anyway, but in chapter 1, we are in your typical small village setting, on the very outskirts outskirts of society in the Two Rivers. Is it called the Two Rivers? Or the Twin Peaks? Two Rivers or Twin Peaks? I should have wrote this down. I should have took a note. But we're either in the Two Rivers or the Twin Peaks. And we are introduced to Rand and his companions. We have got Rand, we have got Matt, we have got Perrin, we've got Egwene. So this is what we're introduced within chapter 1 and the next couple of chapters. We just see them in a small village doing small village activity. Anyway, so what they're doing in the chapter, they're preparing for a festival. So what I find is real, I don't know, I live in a big city, so I wonder in small towns, do they always have festivals? Because every time in a fantasy book, when you're in a small town, there's always a festival going on, and there's always some shit that's gonna happen in that festival. Either people are gonna get killed, someone's gonna awaken to their powers, you know, or a prophecy is gonna be fulfilled. And why is it always in a small town, in a small village, at a festival where everybody's gathered? I just find, what? I want a festival. That's just me saying I want to go to a festival. I want my small town, London. It's not really a small town. Anyway, so they're preparing for this festival, and during this festival, they are these visitors start arriving from the outskirts, and what them bards? Is he a bard or a merchant seller? He comes and he tells them the news from the outside world, because obviously they're too far away from modern society or everyday society. They don't get this news often. But he says about a brewing war. Okay? Now, at this point, I'm getting excited because we have mention again of the dragon reborn. Now, if you remember my theory, the dragon is in the mountain. And because this is called the Twin Peaks, Two Rivers of the Twin Peaks, I feel like I'm making it up. This is why I should have recorded after I read this chapter. But anyway, my theory is that the dragon lives in the mountain. Now, the dragon reborn, they're discussing this. And they're at these Two Rivers where there's mountains. Obviously, the dragon's going to come out the mountain. I'm theorizing. Yes, continue. So, the more I read through the initial beginning chapters, and this is the year 2024. This book was written in the 1990s. Now, the tropes may have been fresh, may have been new, may have been, oh, these are brand new ideas, but this is 30 odd years ago. We have all seen it done before. Now, I feel like if I read it back then, I would have appreciated the tropes in the story, you know, small town setting, strange prophecy. But the mention of a cloaked figure disappearing and bringing evil with them. I mean, for me, it's been done. It's like, now I can see why so many other fantasy stories use this as an inspiration. Because what is happening now is what they've done. It's what they've done. And I think, part of me wish I read this first. Part of me wish I read this story before everything, because I could appreciate it more. Now, I can't fault it, because this was the blueprint. This was the original. What the books that I've read that came out in like 1999 to 2010s, they're all catting Wheel of Time. So I have to give props where props are due. Well done, Robert Jordan. So back to the village setting. So now we got some orcs, and now I can see the Lord of the Rings inspiration, because we got orcs, but in this world, the orcs are called Trollocs, okay? Because they're trollocking about. And they come and they're ransacking the village. They're attacking the village. Now, at this point, Rand is back in his little farmstead with his dad. So it's only him and his dad. And I'm meant to believe that Rand, this farm boy who hasn't been trained with a sword, that hasn't been in any strife in his life, that hasn't done anything, can pick up the sword, wield it, and kill these big ass Trollocs that are there to kill him. I'm meant to believe that he has that strength and that training to do that. I don't believe it. Okay, yeah, he's a farm boy, but he ain't never used a sword in his life. I can pick up a sword and go juk juk. But if something's killing me, I don't have to... Tiffany, you're reading too much into it. It is a fantasy book and there's Trollocs. Trollocs are not real. Of course a farm boy can pick up a sword and fight. I'm I'm being too critical. Anyway, that scene was fantastic. I did enjoy reading it. That's just me to say I enjoyed that part because it gave me excitement, okay? I'm like, why are these Trollocs here? Why are they fighting? Are they trying to find a dragon? Is there a dragon? I'm waiting for the dragon. But I'm liking it so far. I am liking the introductory to it. I love the way that they have mixed world building, history, lore within these first few chapters that I can get a sense of the world. So that is the first introductory point of the Wheel of Time, of the Eye of the World. We have dragons being reborn in mountains, or maybe not. Maybe that's just a theory. Maybe that's just my theory. Maybe I'm wrong. We've got Ran, a farm boy, Matt and Perrin, who are killing Trollocs. I'm liking the first part. I'm liking the prose. I'm liking the pacing. I'm liking that I can see the influences it has had on fantasy genre as a whole. I'm liking how all the books that I've read so recently, these are modern day fantasies with a classical twist on it. Like the fantasies that I've been reading, they're classical fantasies with a modern voice. And I can see the inspiration that they have taken from Wheel of Time to make their novels. So I'm really excited to read more, to see what other tidbits I can pick out. But so far, I'm enjoying it. So let me go read some more. Let me go figure out what this dragon is, where he is, if he's in the mountain or not. And I'll come back to you with a next update. Hello unicorns, I'm just checking back in with you. So I'm around 25% into the Wheel of Time, the Eye of the World book. I'm up to around chapter 14. And I just have to reiterate that I was so wrong in my assumptions before, because the dragon reborn, the references to a dragon, it's not an actual dragon. It's not an actual dragon with scales that breathe fire. It is a metaphor for somebody else. So right now, I'm a bit upset because I love me some dragon. But anyway, they actually did make up with that. They actually did make me re-interested in reading this book with the Aes Sedai. Oh, I love me some females in power. So the Aes Sedai is their magical... Are they called magical beings? They're not witches. They're just females with power. You have the males that have power, but they go crazy. They go cuckoo. The females are the only one that can wield the power efficiently. And they have different ranks of Aes Sedai. They're all color-coded. And I love me a color code. I love me a color code. Now, I'm not too sure what each color stands for, but the one that we have, the Aes Sedai that we have been introduced to right from the beginning is Moraine, and she's a blue. She's a blue. And now I remember Moraine because I saw it in the trailer for the Wheel of Time TV show. She's Rosamund Pike. And I saw her do all the magical powers in the trailer. So I'm excited. But I'm trying to read the Wheel of Time as if the TV show didn't exist. So let me take that out of my mind. So we was introduced to Moraine and the wisdom. I believe you say her name Naive? Naive? Anyway, so we introduced them earlier chapters, but to me they were overshadowed because I was too invested with teenagers and the Trollocs coming to get them. But these two are the ones with the power. They have magical abilities, what say you? And now they're the most intriguing characters to me. I want to know more about them. Now, I don't know what Robert Jordan's intention was writing the book this way, but I love to see, because when you think about this book was written way back in the 1990s, it was mostly male-dominated fantasy. They're the ones with the abilities, they're the chosen ones. But in the Wheel of Time, it's a women with the power, and I love it. We're tearing down the patriarchy one step at a time, and I love the fact that it was a man that wrote this. Now, I did hear criticisms that Robert Jordan doesn't know how to write female characters. I'm not seeing that, or even if it's there, I just know that he put women in power, and that is what I'm standing on. I'm putting my 10 toes down to say I love this for me, okay? My only gripe is, so far, we have the main cast of characters that we're following. We have Ran, Matt, Perrin, we have Naive, we have Egwene, and he's trying to make you believe that one of these characters are the Dragon Reborn. It could be anyone, and we're trying to figure out who it is while they're on this journey. But it's so blatantly obvious that it is Rand, because Rand is the one that's getting the most spotlight, the most attention on him. So at this stage, I'm thinking, what is the point of adding this element? We know it's Rand. And I don't know if it's because, obviously, I've seen a little bit of spoilers about him, like they go on how Rand is the Dragon Reborn or whatever, but I feel like even not knowing that information, it's so obvious that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. And no, it just kind of ruined the suspense for me. And because it's Rand, because all the attention is Rand, I am not enjoying Rand as a character. I actually don't like him. And my number one gripe with him is that Egwene is the one that he's in love with, it's his crush. She has the ability to become an Aes Sedai. So Moiraine is training her up on this journey to become an Aes Sedai, and it's going to take her to the White Tower for training. Rand does not like this, and now Rand is trying to interfere with her training, interfere and tell her what she's doing is wrong. Please shut up and sit down, okay? You do not run her, you do not tell her what she's about to do and about her life. Do not be jealous, because if you try to use this power, you're gonna turn crazy. Rand, shut up, take several seats. And if you can't be happy for her that she's discovering these new abilities, that she's gonna get this potential, and you can't sit back and let this girl thrive, then maybe you're not the man for her. Maybe you shouldn't be trying to court her, okay? No thank you, Rand. I don't like you. Shut up. With that all to say, I am actually enjoying this book so far. I am enjoying the lore. I'm enjoying the world building that we get in it. I'm loving how Robert Jordan is able to give us backstory, a part of the text, without it sounding forced on me. Like, I like when Moiraine was talking about Mathurin, the Twin Peaks, between the Twin Peaks, telling their backstory, how they used to be warriors and how they pushed back the Trolloc Horde. Like, that whole history, the way it was written and the way I was reading, I felt like she was... that was a story within itself, where I want to read that backstory. I want to read about that battle in a separate side quest. But the fact that I'm interested to know more, and hopefully we get more tidbits throughout the book, throughout the series, so I can build up this history. And it's a 14-book long story. Like, there's 14 books in this series, so obviously I'm going to get more history, and I'm waiting. I want it. Pacing so far has been great also. So I just finished chapter 14, and right at the end of the chapter we have Rand, who's in a dream with Belisimon, I don't know, some kind of Dark Lord, Dark Demon type figure, and he's in that dream and he's telling him information that is crucial, yeah? And I'm just eating it up. I need more. So I'm just gonna stop this entry right here, because I need to start on chapter 15 and I need to finish this book. I mean, oh, it's getting interesting. I'm liking it. Hello guys, we're back with my update on rereading The Wheel of Time. So I've read a lot. I've read a significant amount. I'm around 50% in. I have to say, Wheel of Time, I understand why many people have put you on the best fantasy book of all time, because you are doing things. So I'm about 55% in, and I feel like I have a good grasp on the story. I feel like I have a good grasp about who the characters are, and I feel like I know what's going on. So let's just get into my thoughts at this update. So what I'm enjoying the most is all the backstory we're getting, all the world building we're getting. I think I did mention that in my previous clip. However, I have to say that it is hitting the marks for everything I like in a fantasy. In fantasy books, there are 5 things that I look for that I immediately say I'm going to pick up. Now, the first one was dragons, and I've already discussed that. I thought there were dragons in this book, and there wasn't. But then there's also pirates, there's also demons, and there's also your own pantheon and your own magic system. Now, this book so far has confirmed 2, okay? They have demons, and not really demons, but I classify the Trollocs as demons because they ain't human, and they come from the deep, dark underground, okay? Somewhere in the dark lands. And they have their own magic system with the Aes Sedai, and I'm really intrigued to learn more about the Aes Sedai. And also, what I do really like when it's done right is a prophecy. It's a foretelling. Now, this prophecy, although you're just thinking about, oh, who's the dragon reborn, or who's this going to be. We already know it's Rand. So that prophecy really isn't there. But then it's got me questioning, because it's so obviously Rand, is it really Rand? Is it really going to be him? Is there something else? And then they have something called the Tar for Run, which means it's the people that are able to divert the course of history. So now I'm thinking maybe prophecies are meant to be changed. They're not written in stone. It's not fate or destiny. So maybe we might think it's Rand, but then like 10 books later, because they have 14 books in the series, you find out it was really Rand in the first page. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I ain't finished book 1, you know, so let me not speculate anymore. Now, as I said, I'm 50% in. I feel like I have a good grasp on each character. Let's just go back and let's just discuss them some more. So number 1, we have Rand. And as I said before, he's annoying. I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he's got so much main character energy for this book. I feel like I want to focus on somebody else now, because you get on my goddamn nerves. So I get it. You have a demonic lord type of person hunting you down. You don't know if your daddy's your real daddy. But that is no excuse for being as annoying as you are. We all got our own problem. Shut it down, Rand. Shut it down. Firstly, and this is what I mentioned before, you're suffocating my girl Igraine. Let her breathe, let her thrive. Step to the side, okay? Secondly, why are you acting like you know everything, Rand? Why are you acting like you got all the answers and you know what to do next? You don't, okay? You're just a little boy from a small town that's lost out in this world. You have questions. You can answer questions. Don't give no answer, because you ain't got none to give. Like, you ain't no different than Matt or Perrin. Not one of you have left the 2 rivers before in your life. So don't come out here and act like you know everything about the world, because you don't. Shut up and listen to Moraine. Okay? She knows things. So don't go question her. You don't know what's going on, and you don't even know who your daddy is. So how can you act like you know what the world is? Sorry, that's a bit mean. That's a bit mean. Just because he don't know his daddy is his daddy don't mean he's stupid. He's stupid because he's annoying. Let's get that right. Okay, moving on. We got Matt. Now, he's just as annoying as Rand, but because he doesn't have that much face time, just because I don't see him, or he's not prevalent in the POV characters as Rand is, he isn't as annoying, but he's still annoying. I mean, he's a thief, because Moraine did tell everybody not to take the knife from the little, that city that they're in. He said, don't take anything because it's cursed. And what do? You go and teach the knife, and now you've got curses on you. Now you're having some demon spirit invade you and just causing you to act a damn fool. Matt, please sit down over there with Rand. You on timeout. Now, to tell you the truth, when they entered this lair where the Trollocs didn't want to go, when they entered this city, I got kind of excited. Because I thought at this point, I was just like, okay, this is where the dragon probably is. Because I still believe there was dragons. I don't know, I was still hooked on that. And I thought that when they entered the city, the dragon is probably sleeping in there, and that's why the Trollocs don't want to go in, because they're going to get yammed up by this dragon who's defending this city. That was my take. And then I thought, oh, Moraine told them that they can't take any treasures or anything they found. And I thought that makes sense, because everyone knows that dragons like to collect their treasure. So if you take their gold, their treasure, what they collect, they're going to yam you. So Moraine just like, leave it all alone. I was highly disappointed to find out there were still no dragons. And that's why I just thought, you know what, forget it. Okay, there's no dragons in this book. Give up, Tiffany. You ain't gonna see no dragons. But then Matt, he didn't have the same fear that I had. He didn't have the same fear that nobody had. So when Moraine was telling them about this Mordeth character, who I thought was a dragon, but it's not. But she was telling them about Mordeth, how he runs the city, blah, blah, blah. You still want to go and test the dangers. You still want to act like you know everything, Matt. So you see the knife and you take it. You've already got Dark Lords and Trollocs coming after you. And now you want another evil spirit coming after you. You stupid, go sit down. Next up, we have Perrin. Now, Perrin, I don't know how I feel about him. He is a wolf boy. He's turning into the wolf, or he can speak to them. He's like a warg from Game of Thrones. Never mind. Let's not interject. So now, and I got excited. I got excited with Perrin's character development, because we are getting wolves. Are we getting shapeshifters? Are we getting animal companions? You know you love... You know I love me an animal companion. So now I'm thinking, Perrin, you might be my favourite just because you can commune with animals. And his powers kind of reminded me of the Wit from Realm of the Elderlings. Now, I have to do some research to find out which book came out first. And I feel like Wheel of Time did come out first. But the powers, what Perrin is showing, just brought me flashbacks to fit chivalry and to Night Eyes. So I was excited reading that. Igraine, obviously, she's learning to try and be a Aes Sedai. Now, I don't have strong feelings to her. It's not like I don't like her. I think she's perfectly fine. I just feel like she's just a girl, another young girl trying to find her place in the world. I'm not mad at her for trying to be the Aes Sedai. What I was mad at the fact is that she looked down at being the wisdom. She thinks that Aes Sedai is better. And because I love my girl Nynaeve, which I will get to soon, I love Nynaeve. I feel like Igraine was looking down on her because she thinks Aes Sedai is better. But again, I have no strong feelings, bad or positive, towards Igraine. But Nynaeve, Nynaeve, she is my girl. I love her. Like, similarly, like, she's like the others of the group. She doesn't know much about the outside world, but she goes on like she does, and she does it with such gumption. It makes you believe that she should be in charge. And she's smart. She's smart. She's not going to let anyone run over her, because everybody's just going with Moraine, saying, oh, these Trollocs are after you, you should leave the two rivers, I'm going to take you somewhere safe. Everyone's just going with her because she's an Aes Sedai. Nynaeve asks a smart question, like, who is she? Everyone knows that Aes Sedai kills people who show the power, especially in men. So who are you to take these three boys who you think have this one power? Like, you're not walking them to their deaths. You're taking them to the White Tower, where we know that they kill men who have this power. I like Nynaeve. I like her. And I also like the fact that she tells people about themselves. She don't hold nothing back. If you're going to act a fool, Nynaeve is going to tell you you're acting a fool and act right. You know, act like you got sense. I think she's my favourite character. She is. She's my favourite character. Moraine, Miss Know-It-All. I mean, she does know it all. She knows the prophecy. But again, there's a way to go about it. If you're trying to say you're saving people's lives and stuff, I get you're out of time, you're running for your life, but you gotta tell them a little bit of information if it's gonna help make your journey smoother. Stop dropping in the tidbits as they come up, because they need to prepare and plan. Okay? And like, she doesn't, like, they're asking valid questions. Some of them, Rand can go sit down. But Nynaeve is asking valid questions and you don't want to answer her. You need to tell people what's going on so they can act right accordingly. Lan is silent, moody, and I can tell he's thirsting for Nynaeve. He wants her, and I can see them getting together. They will be a perfect couple. I'm loving watching that develop. I'm not actually mad at Lan for wanting Nynaeve, because she's a fantastic woman. She is perfection. No, that's taking it a bit too far. She is a great woman, and for him, I think they will have a perfectly balanced relationship. We also do have a character called Tom. He's like a bard. He is going with them for the journey because he wants to keep them safe, or so to speak. I actually think he's a dark friend. I think he's evil, and I think he spied on them and telling all these demon lords where they're at. Because why are you going along for the journey? Who are you, Tom? Why can't you just leave them and go find somewhere else safe to be? You don't need to be there. So he's a dark friend. He's evil. That is my conclusion. I kind of get it. I kind of get you want to do the noble thing. But then the more important, I feel like you're a bard. You want to go along for the adventure so you'll be able to sing the story, tell the story, and you become famous about telling it. But then again, why put your life in danger? Why? Is it that serious for you? Is it that deep that you need to get the extra coin by putting your life into serious danger? No, you are a dark friend. I know it. Everyone knows it. You're going to die soon. You're going to die. Now, I did like the introduction of the Tinkerers and how they're looking for the song and all their hippy-dippy lifestyle. I love that. And I love that for Perrin, because I feel like that's what he needed. Even though he didn't really integrate well with them, Igraine, oh, my girl was freeballing. She's like, I'm away from home. I'm away from that annoying Rand who's always up my batty. I'm about to go and get me a good time. I'm about to have me some fun. And I'm just like, yes, girl. Yes, Igraine. You go play with these Tinkerers. You go dance in a circle and do all your nonsense. Love that for her. And we have, the last but not least I want to discuss, is the Children of Light. These men on men that hate the Aes Sedai because they're jealous that they can't use the one power. And this is like, please shut up, okay? You are such arseholes. Like, how dare they kill the wolves? Number one, when they killed off them wolves, I was mad. I had to put the book down and breathe in and breathe out. You know, have a woosah moment. Don't kill me. Don't kill my wolves. Wolves are not meant to die. Like, they're just a religious cult that are upset that they are not able to use the one power. And I'm like, damn right, because you men will just fail at it. You just ruin things and ruin the will. Leave the power in the hands of the women that know how to control it. Shut up, sit down. You can go in the corner with Matt and Rand, actually, you children of light. Please disappear. That is my recent update. I'm 50% in. I feel like I'm just going to fly through it now. I feel like, as I said before, I'm just going to sit back, enjoy my time and finish this book. And I will be back with my last update and my conclusion, my thoughts on this story. Alright? See you in the next one. Hello unicorns, it's Tiffany. I am back. Angelica's there. She's hiding. She's a bit shy today. But I am back to wrap up Eye of the Wolrd. I have finished it. And I do have some final thoughts. Now, I haven't finished it today. I finished it like a day or two ago. I just forgot to record my final thoughts. But let's just wrap this up real quick. So we spent all this time trying to get to Tower, what, how do you say it? Tarfalor? Trying to get to the Aes Sedai White Tower. We spent all this time trying to get to this tower to figure out who the Dark Lord is. No, that's not what it's called. Who the Dragon Reborn is. And we all know it's Rand. It's obvious. So when it turns out to be Rand, it was just like, well, duh. Well, obviously, it has to be him. But then, do we end up going to Tarfalor? No. Because for some reason, there is the Dark One is eating a serpent at the center of the world. So instead of going to this White Tower, we have to divert our attention to go to the Eye of the Wolrd, which makes sense because the book is called Eye of the Wolrd. But why did we have to wait so long for it to become relevant? I just don't get it. But we have to go there and there's a green man. There's a man who lives in the forest who's there. Like, I was excited to see the White Tower and the Aes Sedai. But again, we have pivoted the story away from that. Like, and especially because why do we have to wait until the last third, to the last fifth of the book to realise that this is the aim of the book? To get to the outer world before this serpent or this Dark Lord or the ancient man that's evil is going to kill everybody, you know? Like, I would have liked it more if you dropped hints. Maybe they did drop the hints and I missed it. Did I miss it? Was it obvious to anybody else? Did I miss something? Either way that happened. I'm mad, but I'm not mad enough to say I don't like the book because I love the book. I'm invested. I'm in it now. I'm a Wheel of Time girly now. I'm about to read book 2. Okay, we're about to start book 2. So considering this is a first book in a series, I think it was great. It set up the world. It set up the power players. It gave enough backstory to make me care, even though there ain't no dragons. That's a faux pas. I don't know who to blame for that. They need to really change the name of this lord from the Dragon Reborn to the Dark Lord coming back. Okay? To Rise of the Dark Lord or something like that. Because the dragon threw me. The dragon just made me misconceptions. But we move on. The only problem I did have now, I don't know if it's because I'm reading this book. I don't know if this is because I'm reading this book after all the hype around it, after it's been concluded and spoilers are abound. I don't know if I read it when this book was released, if I knew that Rand was going to be the Dragon Reborn or not. I don't know. But that part was a bit disappointing because that anticipation of trying to figure out who it is, I didn't feel it because I knew from the jump who it was. Okay? And I think it's not that I got spoilers for it. It was kind of obvious because we focused on Rand. But then again, I always hear that name Randall 4, so I just assumed that he was the main character even before jumping into the book. But either way, I'm loving the Wheel of Time. If you want to continue with me on this journey while I experience this epic fantasy series for the first time, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I post my next Wheel of Time video, okay? Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.